Welcome to the Advertising Forum. This episode is part of our limited edition series on healthcare advertising, brought to you by IQM. We are so excited to have with us today Amanda Ludwig.
Amanda is a seasoned pro in healthcare advertising and currently holds the role of Senior Vice President at Publicis Health Media. With tons of experience and deep understanding of health media, she's been key in creating strategies that help healthcare brands connect meaningfully with their audiences. Amanda, welcome to the Advertising Forum.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here.
We are equally as happy to have you here, and we just jump right into things on the Advertising Forum. So I'm going to go into it. Obviously with healthcare, there are strict rules and regulations around advertising. My first question to you is, what's the toughest part about balancing creativity and also staying compliant?
Yeah, I think it's a valid question, right? But there's a lot of nuances when it comes to the different type of drugs, right? So it's totally different from an OTC versus something with a boxed warning. So compliance is just way harder to achieve being creative in any kind of way, especially like impactful ads and that kind of stuff, when you have a safety warning that's, 3 minutes long or something like that. So it's easier, quicker to do when you're a non-boxed warning or even an OTC drug than it is for a boxed, but it's just kind of what the rules that we live by, and we all make the best out of it.
With, data privacy becoming increasingly critical, and especially in healthcare, how do you ensure that, the advertising strategies comply with all of the regulations like HIPAA and still maintaining the effectiveness of your campaigns for these brands?
Yeah, for most of us, we've been planning this for a long time, right? We all know like the cookieless future and all of that. I think it comes down to like whether or not you're using claims data and those kinds of things. And there's ways to not get around the laws, because that's not what we're trying to do, but to abide by them and using lookalikes and those kinds of things that you can still be effective in your advertising and not wasteful. Because the bottom line is that none of us want to do that. We're not trying to reach everyone. We only want to impact those that really make a difference. So we're not casting a huge net. So it's just a way to do those things in a HIPAA compliant way with those lookalikes, really.
Do you utilize any sort of, AI and machine learning to help transform those, campaigns and strategies that you have for your healthcare and pharma clients?
I'm not sure that a lot of people actually have started using that. They talk about it. We're all talking about it. I haven't seen anyone crack that code yet. But what we are trying to do a lot of times is everyone keeps talking about modular content and you want to personalize that experience, right? So with AI, we can get to that and be compliant, which is a big thing, is that if we used the machine learnings for that and had this modular content, we could have a plethora of approved ads in different ways to personalize it that would be compliant across the board. And I think that's kind of the future that we're all heading for. Just need to see someone do it.
Amanda, great answer on AI. That was really insightful to hear. How has the integration of programmatic into the healthcare landscape really influenced the way that pharma companies are approaching their overall advertising strategies?
Honestly, it's been a game changer, right? So I've been in this for a really long time, and it used to be, it's just WebMDs of the world, right? Everything that you do is endemic. Even from an HCP perspective, you're talking about Duximity and those guys, Medscape. With programmatic though, it's way more cost effective to you to actually reach either a patient, somebody who looks like a patient, a care provider, any plethora of the above. And do it in a cost efficient manner where, we're not wasting a lot of dollars. And the bottom line is that's what every advertiser wants, is to be able to make sure that you're ensuring I'm hitting my target and they're actually doing something after they've seen your ads or, taken an action on your website or something. So programmatic has really helped ensure that we're doing that and hitting those people. And again, helping the bottom line when it comes down to it.
So talking through efficiencies, talking about hitting the bottom line, creating just actual calls to action, how do elements and innovations in advertising like CTV or programmatic audio, like how are they actually improving patient education and awareness within the healthcare industry? And if they aren't, what other elements within digital advertising are making that kind of impact?
Yeah, we've always seen that for the most part, a video asset is really going to be the first thing to get your point across, right? So you balance, your major safety statement and fair balance and all of those things with the benefits of this drug or whatever the case may be. So knowing that we can do it in a cost efficient manner. And again, we're not going old school linear TV routes. It does help for all of these pharma companies, again, find a way that is not wasteful in like ad dollars to reach those audiences. And again, in a format that we know is going to work and they're actually going to hear it and like get the point and see what the reasons to believe, everyone loves that, the reasons to believe of, why this drug is beneficial or something that you need.
That's super, super helpful to understand. What metrics or KPIs do you prioritize when you're actually evaluating the success of your digital campaigns and when you're working with different healthcare providers and pharma brands? What actually is the source of ROI or measurement that you're tasked with? So
everything really, most that are in advanced measurement. We're not talking about, click-through rates here anymore. Like that's not what we're doing.
Nope.
So they all tie back to a script in some capacity. And even if it's not a script, it's like a referral, a test, whatever the case may be to prove that ad actually moved the needle in some capacity. So for the most part, every partner that we work with is adhering to that. So this is our advanced measurement. It's going to be based on the number of tests, the number of scripts, the cost pers, whatever benchmark we came up with, but everything really goes back to that. So we do have, again, there's always buys that are green fees and like something that you have to do. You need to have this content center or that, any of those things. But in the end, if you're not converting a patient to script, then like you're going to move your dollars where you know that it is actually working. And that's what we do.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. What are you most excited about within the healthcare ecosystem?
I do think I've worked on big brands and I've worked on small brands. And I do think the advancement like within TV, because again, everybody wants to be on TV. They know that.
Sight, sound, emotion.
Yeah. So, that's what they really get with these video spots, especially if you're talking about an older generation or something like that. That's where you're going to hit them. And I don't mean literally TV. Mobile is considered video at this point, and you can buy it just like you buy TV. So any video platform, we always talk about it being like video agnostic. I follow you on devices. It doesn't matter. But the fact that you can layer on those third-party audiences, even if some brands do have first-party audiences and build up with lookalikes, again, it's a way for these brands to reach those people that need it the most and, do it on small budgets. So I think that's kind of the wave of the future more than anything. And programmatic is definitely a big piece of that with all of the CTV partners and how they can dedupe between like programs and platforms and those things that like, that's just where we're going to end up.
Amazing. Thank you, Amanda. This has been an awesome discussion. We've learned a lot about the healthcare and pharma industry just from this conversation. We'd like to thank our sponsor, IQM, for underwriting this episode and this series. Again, on behalf of ATG and myself, thank you for watching the Advertising Forum, and thank you, Amanda Ludwig.